Welcome back. I'm Brooke.
And I'm Todd.
And this is Football Friday.
Cheers.
So this week we'll be talking about goalkeepers. Cheers. So to go to my notes about goalkeepers,
Oh,
like
you
three pages of notes.
You took notes about goalkeepers, huh?
Lots of notes. Is that the only? Oh,
What
maybe
is
I was wrong.
What does a goalkeeper do?
So they keep the ball out of the goal.
Wow, is that all
Believe
they
it
do?
or not. No, actually, I have a whole lot of notes about this. So it's the most specialized position in football.
It is?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
They have a lot of different rules. They keep the ball from going over the goal line, but it has to be inside the goal. So, you know, like in American football, they have like the big
Yeah.
four thing, and it has to go up through that. Instead, in football, they have like a little net,
Oh,
and it has
okay.
to go into that.
It's not so little, though.
No, it's not little. I mean, the training ones are pretty little, apparently. I don't
Okay.
know.
But when somebody's taking a penalty shot or a penalty kick, free kick or
Yeah.
something,
Oh, yeah. Really
those
tough.
nets seem pretty big to cook
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So in the penalty area, the goalkeepers are allowed to use their hands.
Wow.
But if they're outside of the penalty area, they can't.
Okay.
So goalkeepers usually wear a different colored kit from their teammates and the opposition.
Wow.
So, I mean, this one is my cousin's.
Oh, okay.
So it's really big on me. But, yeah. So typically they're like, I mean, you've seen like a lot of bright colored ones. We see the one that Courtois wears is like bright blue.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a rule called the back pass rule.
The back pass rule.
Yes, I was very confused. I looked at the Wikipedia page for it like 3 or 4 times. I went back and forth between like different, and I was still very confused, but I think I got it.
Okay.
So the back pass rule disallows handling passes back to keepers from teammates. So goalkeepers cannot handle, so like use their hands, the ball if it has been deliberately kicked to them.
Okay, by their own team.
Yes, so if their team kicks the ball to them, they cannot grab it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what if I use my head to pass it back to the goalkeeper?
I don't know.
I
I think that counts. Like you can't. I don't think they. Maybe it's if it's in the air they can grab it.
I mean, I think that I think maybe this is something you might need to do some more.
Some more, yeah, because I didn't say that anything. About
Because
it.
if I pass it back with using my head and not my feet, maybe that's a different rule.
Maybe I didn't see anything about that, so I'll look at that again.
Okay.
I told you it was almost as confusing as offsides.
Okay.
Actually, no, I think it might be more confusing than offsides. I was very lost.
Are there exceptions to it? Like if the ball is loose and a player from the other team is there and about to score?
No, I don't think so. I think the other team would have to touch the ball for them to
and then
handle
then
it.
the keeper could handle it.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, we see that a lot of times where the ball gets passed back to the goalie to reset.
Mm-hmm.
So goalkeepers are sometimes called keepers and sometimes called goalies.
Yeah.
And any other nicknames?
Unless they're captain.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't think so. I didn't say anything about other nicknames.
Okay.
But okay. So goalkeepers usually perform goal kicks, and they give commands to their defense during corner kicks, direct and indirect free kicks, and marking. So that's because, like, that's the next note. The reason they do that is because goalkeepers play an important role in directing field strategy, as they have an unrestricted view of the entire pitch.
Yep. So they can see everything that's in front of them.
Yes, they can. They can see everything, so it's helpful to have, like, instructions from your goalkeeper as to what to do next.
Yeah. But unless they go out halfway out in the field and they're going to get the ball and they leave the net undefended and somebody gets
true.
in behind them.
That is true. That can happen.
We've seen it happen. We've seen somebody score, I think, from that. I think it was in the women's game we watched a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So the goalkeeper is the only mandatory position on a team. So if they are injured or sent off, another player must take their place. A team usually brings on a substitute keeper in place of an outfield player. If a team does not have a substitute goalkeeper or already used all their permitted substitutions for the match, an outfield player has to play as goalkeeper.
Wow.
Yeah, so we saw that kind of the first part of that when I think it was Barcelona was playing Real Madrid,
Yes.
and they sent off Lamine Yamal
Yep.
to bring on a new goalkeeper.
Oh yeah, because the keeper
got a red
injured.
card.
Or a red card. Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Okay.
Yeah. So because the position requires different skills from the outfielders, goalkeepers have they train separately from their teammates and work with a goalkeeping coach to develop their play,
Okay.
which is really cool. I learned that a while ago, but I can't remember where I learned that from. But I think that's really very interesting.
You may have learned it when your sibling went to a goalkeeping camp.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, Rin took. Rin was a goalkeeper back in the day.
Was Ren a goalkeeper?
Yeah, Rin wanted to be a goalkeeper, and so
I didn't know that. Maybe
so
I
we
should have
sent him
talked to Rin about this episode.
Yeah, absolutely. We sent Rin actually trained with one of the goalkeepers from the Railhawks in a goalkeeping camp that the Railhawks put on at the time.
That's why Rin was such a big Railhawks fan.
Well, that's part of it, but that was the professional team in our area, and that's who we went to see. And Rin loved soccer, and so and loved playing and loved playing goalie. So so he got some personal lessons.
That's cool.
As well as being in the camp with other goalkeepers. So it was a lot of fun.
That's really cool. I didn't know that actually. So during practice, goalkeepers focus heavily on footwork and getting up quickly after a save, which is obvious, but I just thought that was really cool. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. So goalkeepers may wear any number, but the number 1 is almost always reserved for a team's first choice goalkeeper.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's good. If you're number 1, you get to wear number 1.
Yeah. Well, I'm wearing number 17 right now. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's all the information I have on goalkeepers, but I wrote down a couple of either keepers that we know or some of the best keepers.
Okay.
So for men's keepers, I mean, my favorite is Jan Sommer.
Okay, yeah, of
course. So I love Jan Sommer.
Yeah.
And I also noted Courtois is probably one of the best goalkeepers. Okay. Mostly because he is 10 feet tall.
And his arm span is the whole.
He's the entire thing. Yeah.
So I guess if you're I guess for the people who are listening to this or watching it, Jan Sommer was the Swiss national team goalie.
Yeah, so. Not anymore. He retired from international play.
That's cool.
But he plays for AC Milan, I think.
Okay.
Instead of Inter Milan, there's 2 teams in Milan, and I can't remember which one he plays for.
Yeah. And he does a good job for them, I'm sure.
Yes, he does.
And the headband is intimidating.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Either way, both those teams were in the Champions League, so I mean, they must be doing pretty good.
Yep.
But anyway, 2 of the women's goalkeepers, I wrote down Hope Solo. She was a U.S. women's team goalkeeper until 2016. She was notably one of the best women goalkeepers in the world.
Good.
I haven't seen her play. I don't know, but I mean, everything I read about her was she was one of the best.
Yep, I think so.
Yeah. And then I wrote down Misa for Real Madrid. She's a pretty good goalkeeper.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you should look for who the goalkeeper before Hope Solo for the U.S. women's national team is. I think her name was Brianna.
Let's see.
Something. I don't remember exactly now, but. Yeah. So Jan Sommer's your favorite, and then Courtois is also one of your favorites because
he's very tall. Yeah. He's 6'7",
and he happens to play for Real Madrid.
Yeah. Well, he also plays for the Belgian national team.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So not much gets past him.
Yeah, he's 2 meters tall exactly.
Oh, good.
So
good.
U.S. women's team.
Yeah, the history.
Goalkeepers.
So. Yeah, I think also maybe goalkeepers sometimes are a little strange. because they're there by themselves, and then they have to be on the mindset of not letting if a goal gets scored on them and not let it bother them and be ready for the next one.
Yeah. Okay. So you were right, Brianna Scurry.
Yeah, Brianna Scurry. I remember. I remember watching her and thinking she was really good. So.
Yeah.
So I remember also from the men's side, one of the best U.S. men's goalkeepers of all time was Tim Howard.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've heard that name before.
I think he played in the Premier League. So he's only recently, recently, I guess it's 8 years ago now, retired from international play, I think. So but yeah, he was really good back there for the U.S. men, and especially in the World Cup. So.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I was looking at the history of the U.S. women's team.
Yeah.
To see. Okay, U.S. WNT all-time goalkeeper leaders. So in number of wins, Hope Solo was number 1 at 153, and Brianna Scurry was number 2 at 135.
Yep.
Same numbers.
Yeah, the same digits just in a different order. Still, yeah.
Yeah. That was cool. Ooh, one of the goalkeepers was named Siri.
Siri, all right.
Yeah, Siri Mullinix.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, in clean sheets, Hope Solo was at 102 and Brianna Scurry was 72.
That's
so
cool.
They're both 1 and 2.
Yep. Yeah. So I think Brianna Scurry was the goalkeeper back in the days of Mia Hamm. And, and so that was a pretty solid team all around, I think.
Yeah.
So.
So. You said your favorite. Well, who's your favorite of all time? Because you said U.S. goalkeepers.
Oh yeah, my favorite of all time is clearly Rin. I mean.
Oh yeah, obviously.
But then,
professional.
But Justin also, because Justin played goalkeeper for.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But what about professionals?
Professionals. I guess probably. Well, it's hard to beat a guy whose last name is Summer.
Yeah, that's true.
But it has an awesome headband. But I don't know. Tim Howard probably.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. So do you know on penalty shots? Do you know the rules? What the goalkeeper has to do on?
They have to stay on the line.
Yeah, until the ball's kicked.
Yes.
And
because we saw one game, maybe it was at the Euros, where the keeper had stepped off the line before it was kicked, and they had to redo the penalty.
If you make clearly, I think if he steps off the line and they still score, then they don't have to re-kick, right? If he steps off the line and they don't score, then they have to re-kick, right? So it's really, I think, almost too big of a disadvantage for the goalkeeper. On those, in my opinion, because it's I think probably 60, 70, 80% of the penalty kicks taken get scored, result in a goal.
Yeah, you can't always tell which way they're gonna go, so
So I think the goalkeepers they just guess. Okay, they're either going top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right.
Yeah.
Or they're going to try to put it behind, right back at me after I dive to one side or the other.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair that they're forced to stay on the line, and the guys that are kicking it can do a hitch in their addressing the ball, so that they can see which way the goalkeeper is going because he's moving as they're getting ready to kick it.
Yeah. So. That's understandable, yeah.
But I always feel sorry for the goalkeepers because actually, I did play goalie one season for my team. I think I did pretty good. I think I made at least one save that year.
Nice. Yeah.
I guess they also you mentioned that they control the play, control which way the ball is going, which side of the field the team is going to take the ball up, and they're an outlet for passing back, and they can tell which. So one of the things is how do they get the ball forward other than kicking? They can throw it up to one of their teammates. They
can throw it as long as they're inside the penalty area.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I think that usually, I mean, sometimes you've seen them like punch it when it's coming their way, like they can throw it. But yeah.
But then they can also do like drop kick it, right? And then and a lot of them can drop kick it most of the way across the field. So.
Yeah. Well, there was that one game that we saw where Lunin, the substitute goalkeeper for Real Madrid, had an assist where like he drop kicked it like all the way to the other half of the pitch, and then someone scored it.
Yeah. Like one or two touches and shot and score.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
So, yep. And sometimes they like to get the play going fast, and sometimes they like to slow it down and take their time.
Yeah.
And then the refs warn them that, hey, you gotta move it or you're gonna get a yellow card.
One of the Real Madrid games the women's games that we saw, Misa got a yellow card for taking too long, and every single time she had the ball as she was like saving it, the other team started booing.
Oh wow.
She could have it for less than a second and they would start booing her and they were like, "You're taking too long."
Yeah. Yeah. So the other thing about it is that goalkeepers, it's kind of dangerous because a lot of times they have to go to the ground to save the ball, and they're in the middle of people's feet with cleats. And so it's
or people falling on them. Unfortunately, because when you're running that fast and you fall, you kind of throw your whole body weight.
Right.
So if someone trips over them while they're saving the ball, their whole body weight goes on the goalkeeper too.
That or the goalkeepers also, when they're going to reach for a ball, a dive for a ball, their body's out in full extension. So and if somebody runs into them or is kicking at the ball and it may hit them in the head or so it's a rough can be really rough position, and keepers can often get injured that way, concussions and things like that too. So cool. So would you want to play goalkeeper?
No. I don't think I'd be very good at it.
Like I said, I think you have to have a little bit of an interesting mentality to do it and to be the guy back there or the gal back there.
It's like how Mom was talking about how she thinks Jordan Pickford is really weird.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because he's the keeper for England.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and she said he was really weird. I think that was really funny.
Well, I think that you got to be a little bit weird to want to do that. So.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. That was good.
It was a nice conversation about keepers, I think.
Yeah, I think it was fun.
Hopefully this conversation's been a keeper.
Thank you for listening to Football Friday, and don't forget to check out our regular weekly episodes of Wine Together. If you want to join the conversation, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok @WineTogetherPod.